Welcome to Retail Strategy. I'm excited to kick off this semester because we're going to be studying one of the most dramatic transformations happening in business right now. And I know what some of you are thinking. Retail? Really? Isn't that just stores and shopping? No. Retail is where fortunes are being made and lost at an epic scale. We're talking about companies that were worth billions of dollars just vanishing. Poof, gone. And at the same time, we've got scrappy startups that started in someone's apartment becoming multi-billion-dollar empires. This is Game of Thrones, but with shopping carts. In this video series, we're going to figure out what separates the winners from the losers. Why is Lululemon printing money, selling $100 yoga pants, while Bed Bath & Beyond, which seemed invincible, completely imploded? Why is Aldi, a grocery store that literally makes you bring your own bags and pay a quarter for a shopping cart, absolutely crushing it, while traditional supermarkets are struggling? By the end of this video series, you're going to be able to look at any retailer and predict their future. You'll be like retail fortune tellers, except, with data and analysis instead of crystal balls. Let's get started. In this video, we're going to understand the fundamental shifts transforming retail. And I'm not talking about, people shop online now. That's obvious. We're going deeper to understand the forces that are completely reshaping how retail works. Look at this slide. On the left side, we've got what the media loves to call the retail apocalypse. Sears, completely dead. Every single store closed. This is a company that at one point was literally the place America shopped. They invented mail order retail. They were the Amazon of their day. And now, gone. Toys R Us, liquidated. They sold toys. How do you mess up selling toys? Well, we'll get into that later. Bed Bath & Beyond, filed for bankruptcy in 2023 and liquidated. Remember those 20% off coupons they constantly sent? Turns out, you can't build a business on training customers to never pay full price. Forever 21, Payless, closed hundreds or thousands of stores. So, if you just look at the left side, you'd think retail is dead. The apocalypse is here. Everyone's shopping online. Physical retail is over. But then, look at the right side. Aldi. 2,300 stores, and they're the fastest growing grocery chain in America. A German discount grocer is eating everyone's lunch, literally. Lululemon, 600 plus stores. They sell $100 yoga pants, and people line up to buy them. They're doing great. Five Below, 1,300 stores. Everything's $5 or less, and they can't open stores fast enough. Warby Parker, started online in 2010, now has 200 plus physical stores. They went backwards from online to physical, and it's working. Ulta Beauty, 1,300 plus stores and growing. So what's the real story here? Is retail dying or thriving? The answer is both. Retail isn't dying. Bad retail is dying. Retail that doesn't give customers a reason to exist, retail that's stuck in the past, retail that thought they could coast on past success. But good retail is absolutely thriving. So the question isn't, will retail survive? The question is, what makes the difference between the left side and the right side of this slide? And that's what we're here to figure out. Let me give you some numbers to frame this. E-commerce is 16.4% of total retail sales in Q3 2025. Now, think about that for a second. If you only read headlines, you'd think everyone shops online and stores are dead. But e-commerce is only 16.4%. That means 83.6% of retail sales still happen in physical stores. Retail isn't dead, it's evolving. Amazon controls 40% of all e-commerce. This is wild. Of that 16.4% that's online, Amazon has almost half of it. They are absolutely dominant in e-commerce, which means if you're a retailer trying to compete online, you're not just competing with other retailers. You're competing with a company that has 40% market share and is willing to lose money to gain more. Mall traffic is down 30% since 2010. Okay, this is the apocalypse number. Malls are struggling. But here's the interesting thing, and this is important. Not all malls are struggling. Class A malls, the nice ones with Apple stores and Lululemon and fancy restaurants, those are thriving. People go there to hang out, to experience stuff, and to see and be seen. Class B and C malls, the ones with the broken escalators and the weird smells, and the stores you've never heard of, those are dying fast. The middle is getting squeezed. You either need to be premium, great experience, worth the price, or value, cheap, efficient. The middle, that's where retailers go to die. This is the reality of retail in 2026. It's not dead. It's just ruthlessly competitive. And that brings us to the forces that are making it so competitive. All right, here are the 7 forces that are completely reshaping retail. Every retailer has to deal with these. Digital transformation, e-commerce, mobile, social media, all that jazz. The Amazon effect. Amazon has changed what customers expect from everyone. Direct-to-consumer revolution. Brands are cutting out the middleman. Discount pressure. Aldi, TJ Maxx, dollar stores, eating everyone's lunch. Generational shifts. Gen Z and Millennials shop differently than their parents. Economic pressures. Costs are up. Margins are squeezed. Data and personalization. Retailers know everything about you now. These 7 forces are like the weather. You can't control them, but you better dress appropriately or you're going to have a bad time. Let's dive into each of these forces because understanding these forces is how you predict the future. Digital transformation. Sounds fancy, right? But what does it actually mean? Here's what happened. The internet stopped being the place you go to and became the place you live in. Mobile commerce. Over 50% of all e-commerce happens on phones and tablets. Think about that. Half. You're sitting on your couch watching Netflix and you see someone wearing a cool jacket. You pick up your phone, find the jacket on Instagram, and buy it, all without moving. That's mobile commerce. It's frictionless. When I was your age, if I wanted to buy something, I had to get in my car, drive to a store, and hope they had the item in my size. Now, 3 taps on your phone, done. Social commerce, TikTok shop, Instagram shopping. This is crazy. You're scrolling TikTok, watching someone do a dance or whatever, and there's a button that says, buy this lip gloss. And you can buy it right there without leaving TikTok. Discovery and purchase happen in the same place. That used to require a store. Now it requires an influencer and a good algorithm. Voice commerce. Alexa, Google Assistant. Alexa, reorder paper towels. Done. You don't even need to pick up your phone. You just talk to your house, and stuff shows up at your door. This is terrifying. If you're a retailer, because customers aren't even browsing anymore, they're just reordering the same stuff. How do retailers get new customers when people are buying on autopilot? AR and VR try-on. Sephora visual artist, Warby Parker app. Sephora has an app where you can point your phone at your face and it shows you what different lipsticks would look like. Warby Parker lets you virtually try on glasses. This used to be the reason to go to a store. to try stuff on. Now you can do it from your couch in your pajamas. Here's the impact. Physical stores have to justify their existence. If I can discover products on TikTok, try them on with AR, and buy them with my voice, why do I need a store? The answer is stores need to provide something you can't get online. An experience, a community, something worth leaving your house for. The stores that figured this out, thriving. The stores that didn't, well, they're on the left side of slide 4. Okay, let's talk about Amazon. Amazon is like the sun in the solar system of retail. Everything orbits around it. Every retailer is either trying to be Amazon, compete with Amazon, or survive Amazon. Here's what Amazon has done. They've reset customer expectations for everyone. Fast, free shipping. Prime members expect 2-day delivery as the baseline, not as a bonus, as a baseline. And increasingly, they expect same day. I ordered something on Amazon at 10 a.m. yesterday, and it was at my door by 3 p.m. That's insane. That used to be impossible, but now it's expected. And if you're a smaller retailer trying to compete, how are you supposed to offer that? You can't. Amazon has 200 million Prime members paying $139 per year. That's 27 billion just from memberships. They use that money to subsidize shipping. You as a small retailer cannot compete with that. Easy returns. No questions asked returns. Amazon will let you return almost anything, and sometimes they don't even want the product back. They'll just say, keep it, here's your refund. Why? Because the cost of processing the return is higher than the cost of the item. And they'd rather have happy customers than argue about a $15 product. Now, as a customer, you get used to this. And then you go to another retailer and they want to charge you for return shipping. And you need the original packaging and a receipt and your firstborn child. And you're like, forget this. I'll just buy from Amazon. Vast selection, 350 plus million products. If it exists, Amazon probably has it. Need a left-handed smoke detector? Amazon has it. Need a book about training chickens? Amazon has it. No physical store can compete with that selection. It's impossible. You'd need a store the size of a small country. Personalization, recommendations that feel like mind reading. Amazon's algorithm is scary good. It knows what you want before you do. I went to buy a phone case, and Amazon suggested a screen protector, a charging cable, and a pop socket. And I'm like, yeah, I do need those. How did you know? Because they've analyzed billions of purchases and know that people who buy phone cases also buy those things. Price transparency, instant comparison shopping. You're in Target looking at a blender. You pull out your phone and check Amazon. It's $10 cheaper on Amazon. What do? A lot of people put the Target blender back and order the Amazon one right there in the store. This is called showrooming, and it's brutal for traditional retailers. The consequence? Every retailer is judged against Amazon standards. Even if you're a local boutique selling handmade jewelry, customers still kind of expect Amazon-level convenience. It's not fair, but it's reality. So retailers have to figure out, what can we do that Amazon can't? Usually, the answer is provide an experience, build a community, offer expertise, or compete on values, being local, sustainable. But you can't just be like Amazon, but worse. That's a losing strategy. All right, here's a trend that's absolutely changing the game. Brands going direct to consumers. Let me explain what this means with a story. In traditional retail models, a brand makes a product, sells it wholesaler to a retailer, and the retailer marks it up and sells to you. So let's say Nike makes a shoe. They sell it to Dick's Sporting Goods for $50. Dick's sells it to you for $100. Nike gets $50, Dick's gets $50. In the direct-to-consumer model, a brand makes a product and sells it directly to you on their website or in their own stores. Nike makes a shoe, sells it to you for $100. Nike gets $100. See the difference? Nike just doubled their margin. So why would brands go direct to consumer? 3 reasons. Higher margins. They keep all the profits instead of splitting it. Own the customer data. When you buy from Nike.com, Nike knows everything about you. When you buy from Dick's, Dick's knows everything about you, but Nike doesn't. And data is gold in modern retail. Control the brand experience. Nike can make their own stores and website exactly how they want. No relying on Dick's to represent their brand properly. Here are some examples. Warby Parker started in 2010 selling glasses online. Cut out Lens Crafters and Sunglass Hut. Glasses that would cost $300 plus at a traditional optician, $95 at Warby Parker. Same quality, way cheaper, because no middleman. Casper, mattresses direct from the manufacturer. Used to be, you'd go to a mattress store and deal with creepy salespeople. Now, you order online, they ship in a box, you have 100 nights to try it. Glossier, makeup brand that built entirely on Instagram. No department store counters, just direct sales. But here's a plot twist that you can see in the first 2 images. A lot of these direct-to-consumer brands are now opening physical stores. Warby Parker has 200 plus stores. Casper opens stores. Why? Because it turns out some products people want to touch and try before buying. And having physical stores actually increases online sales because it builds brand awareness. The threat to traditional retailers? If Nike, Adidas, and other brands all decide to just sell direct and skip retailers like Foot Locker, Dick's, what's the point of those retailers? This is why department stores are struggling. Brands don't need them anymore. The lesson? If you're a retailer, you need to provide value beyond just having products on shelves, because brands can do that themselves now. Okay, let's talk about something that's absolutely crushing the middle of the market. Discount pressure. The market is splitting in 2 directions. Premium, high price, amazing experience, and value, low price, good enough quality. The middle, the we're not cheap, but we're not fancy either, that's where retailers go to die. Let me show you who's winning on the value side. Hard discounters, Aldi and Lidl. Aldi is fascinating. They're a German company that's absolutely dominating in America. Here's their strategy. Limited assortment, 1,400 products. A normal grocery store has 40,000 products. They only carry the essentials and top sellers. 90% private label. Almost everything is Aldi's own brand. They get higher margins and quality control. Extreme efficiency. Products stay in shipping boxes on pallets. No fancy displays, no bags, bring your own or buy them. Tiny stores, minimal staff. Cart deposit system. You pay $0.25 to get a cart. Get it back when you return it. Why? They don't have to pay someone to collect carts. The result? They can sell groceries 20 to 30% cheaper than traditional supermarkets while making better margins. Aldi is the fastest growing grocer in America. They're eating Kroger's and Safeway's lunch. Off-price, TJ Maxx and Ross. These stores sell brand name stuff 20 to 60% below department store prices. They buy excess inventory, closeouts, and overstock. The designer shirt that didn't sell at Nordstrom, 6 months later, it's at TJ Maxx for half price. It's a treasure hunt model. You never know what you'll find, so people come back frequently to check. And guess what? While department stores are closing, TJ Maxx is opening new stores. Dollar stores, Dollar General and Dollar Tree. Dollar General is opening like 1,000 stores per year because they're targeting rural areas where there's no Walmart nearby. They're all about convenience at extreme value. The squeeze? If you're a traditional middle market retailer, not cheap enough to compete with Aldi, not premium enough to compete with Whole Foods, you're getting crushed from both sides. You either need to go premium, like Whole Foods or Lululemon, or go value, like Aldi or TJ Maxx. The mushy middle, that's quicksand. All right, let's talk about you. Well, your generation, Gen Z and Millennials. You shop completely differently than your parents. And retailers built for boomers are freaking out, trying to figure you out. Here's how you're different. Values-based purchasing. You care about where products come from. Is it sustainable? Is the company ethical? Do they treat workers well? Your parents might have cared about this, but it wasn't a deal breaker. For you, you'll literally boycott companies that don't align with your values. Patagonia is crushing it with the Gen Z market because they stand for environmental activism. They once ran an ad that said, "Don't buy this jacket," to encourage people to consume less. And sales went up. Experience over ownership. You don't want stuff. You want experiences. Your parents wanted a house full of things. You want to rent, subscribe, and access. This is why companies like Rent the Runway, Rent Designer Clothes, are thriving. Why Spotify beat iTunes, access versus ownership. Retailers that sell stuff, struggling. Retailers that sell experiences, thriving. Digital native expectations. You grew up with smartphones. You expect things to just work. Seamless omnichannel. Buy online, pick up in store, mobile first everything, instant gratification. If a website is slow or clunky, you're gone. Your parents would struggle through a bad website. You? Nope. There are 50 other options. Influencer-driven discovery. Your parents discovered products through TV commercials and mall browsing. You discover products through TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. You trust influencers more than traditional advertising. A random TikToker with 100,000 followers can be more credible than a Super Bowl commercial. This is why traditional advertising is dying and influencer marketing is exploding. Authenticity required. You have very good BS detectors. If a company does performative woke washing, pretending to care about social issues just for marketing, you call them out immediately. Companies have to be genuinely authentic, not just pretend to be. The retailer impact? Retailers built for boomers, department stores, traditional malls, are losing relevance because they don't speak your language. Retailers that get Gen Z, Lululemon, Sephora, Ulta, all thriving. The lesson? Know your customer. And if your customer has changed, you better change too. Let's talk money. Specifically, let's talk about why it's getting really expensive to run a retail business. Real estate costs. Class A malls, the fancy ones, are charging insane rents. We're talking $200 to $300 per square foot per year. So if you have a 2,000 square foot store, that's $400,000 to $600,000 per year just in rent. And foot traffic is down, so you're paying more for less. A lot of retailers are looking at those numbers and saying, this doesn't make sense anymore, and closing mall stores. Labor challenges. Minimum wage has gone up, which is great for workers, but it's a huge cost for retailers. Plus, there's a worker shortage. People don't want retail jobs anymore. They're hard, the hours are weird, the pay isn't that great, and customers can be, let's say, challenging. So retailers have to pay more and deal with high turnover and struggle to find workers. The solution? Automation. Self-checkout, AI bots, robots in warehouses. Amazon has warehouses with more robots than humans. They're not doing this to be futuristic. They're doing it because it's cheaper and more reliable than human labor. Supply chain disruption. COVID showed everyone how fragile global supply chains are. Remember when you couldn't get toilet paper or anything shipped from China? Inventory costs went up, lead times became unpredictable, shipping costs exploded. Retailers are still dealing with this. It's getting better, but it's not back to pre-COVID normal. Inflation impact. Customers have less spending power. Groceries cost more, gas costs more, rent costs more. So what do? They trade down to cheaper retailers. This is why Aldi and dollar stores are growing, while traditional supermarkets struggle. When money's tight, people get price conscious. The result? Operational excellence is no longer optional. You have to run an efficient operation to survive. The retailers that were fat and happy and inefficient, they're dying. The retailers that are lean and efficient, they're thriving. The last force, and this one's a bit creepy, data and personalization. Retailers know everything about you. What you buy, when you buy, what you browse but don't buy, where you live, how much money you make. It's like they're stalking you, except it's legal, and you agreed to it when you clicked "I accept" on the terms and conditions that you definitely didn't read. What data reveals? Amazon knows you're probably pregnant before your family does. How? Because you started buying unscented lotion and folic acid supplements. Target famously sent pregnancy-related coupons to a teenager, and her father was furious. Until he found out she actually was pregnant. Target knew before he did. That's how good the algorithms are. Amazon's advantage? Amazon has purchase data from billions of transactions. They know that people who buy a Kindle also buy a case. People who buy a phone also buy a screen protector and a charger. So when you buy a phone, Amazon suggests those things and you buy them because, yeah, you do need those things. Their conversion rate is insane because of personalization. Loyalty programs. Sephora's Beauty Insider program collects data in exchange for points and discounts. Target Circle does the same thing. Why? Because data is valuable. They can target you with personalized offers that you're actually likely to use. Personalization at scale. You and your roommate get different emails from the same retailer, different products, different discounts, because the retailer knows you like different things. This used to be impossible. Now, it's standard. Privacy concerns. Here's the thing though. Customers are getting wary. If you use my data to serve me better and give me good recommendations, cool. If you use my data to manipulate me and sell it to third parties, not cool. Winners versus losers. Winners use data to genuinely improve the customer experience. Losers invade privacy without providing anything in return. The key is transparency and value exchange. Tell me what data you're collecting and why, and give me something valuable in return. Then we're cool. Be creepy and sneaky, I'm out. All right, those are the 7 forces, and I know that was a lot. But here's the thing. Every retailer has to navigate all of these forces. The winners find ways to turn these forces into opportunities. The losers let these forces crush them.